It's faster than a Ferrari. Faster than a Bugatti, and it doesn't even make a sound. Electric supercars are now faster than anything we've ever built for the street. They dominate drag strips, break records, and deliver power that feels more like sci-fi than real life. The Rimac Nevera goes 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. The upcoming Tesla Roadster is promising 1.9. That's not just fast, that is unbelievable. But here's the twist. Even with all that speed, electric supercars are still not winning the race that matters most. People still lust after Ferraris. They still revere Lamborghinis. There's something electric cars haven't replaced, and maybe never will. This is the real story of how electric cars beat gas cars in speed, but still lost in almost every other way that counts. Let's start with the numbers, because that's where electric cars completely dominate. The Rimac Nevera, built in Croatia, accelerates from 0 to 60 in 1.85 seconds. That's faster than almost every production car in history. The Tesla Roadster 2, while still in development, is expected to hit 1.9 seconds with a projected top speed over 250 miles per hour. These are performance stats that make even Bugatti engineers sweat. Now, let's compare those numbers to some of the best gas-powered supercars on Earth. The Ferrari SF90 Stradale hits 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. The Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, 2.7 seconds. Even the Bugatti Chiron, a literal hypercar, takes 2.4 seconds. So yes, electric wins the launch. And not just barely, it's a demolition. Why? Electric motors deliver 100% of their torque instantly. There's no gear shifting, no waiting, no build-up. You hit the accelerator, and you're thrown forward like you got punched by the future. And modern EVs don't just use one motor. They often use 4, one for each wheel. That allows them to dynamically adjust traction hundreds of times per second. While internal combustion cars are fighting physics with pistons and combustion chambers, electric cars are basically playing chess with pure math. But here's the question. If electric supercars are so much faster, why don't they feel like the kings of the road? Because speed is only one metric. And in isolation, it doesn't make you fall in love with a machine. The real world introduces friction, not just against the road, but against experience. And that's where things start to shift. Electric cars win the drag race. But what about the real race? You know, the one that lasts more than 10 seconds. This is where electric supercars begin to show their weaknesses, the kind you don't see in spec sheets or launch ads. Let's talk about heat. High-performance electric vehicles rely on massive lithium-ion battery packs. And when you push those batteries to the limit with hard launches, track sessions, and multiple high-speed pulls, they get hot. Fast. Batteries don't like heat, and when they get too hot, the car has no choice but to throttle performance down to prevent damage. That means slower acceleration, reduced top-end performance, and even temporarily disabling of launch control until the car cools down. You might have a 1.9-second car, but only for the first run. Now, compare that to a gas-powered Ferrari or Porsche. You can run lap after lap on a track. Yes, the engine gets hot, but it's designed for that. You refuel in 3 minutes and go again. Now imagine doing that in a Tesla Plaid. One hard session, and you're looking at battery cooldown and charge time, which could take up to an hour, even with fast charging. Then there's the weight. The Rimac Nevera weighs over 5,000 pounds. That's more than a Dodge Durango. Why so heavy? Batteries. They're dense and necessary, but they bring a ton of mass to the party. And while that's fine for a drag race, it's a nightmare on a racetrack. Braking becomes harder. Cornering feels heavier. Tire where skyrockets. No matter how good your suspension is, you can't escape physics. Weight changes everything. EV makers are trying to solve these issues with better cooling systems and lightweight materials. But as of now, it's still a trade-off. Speed in a straight line is easy. Speed everywhere else is much harder. And that's where electric supercars are still learning to catch up. Speed can be measured. Torque can be graphed. But emotion lives somewhere else entirely. This is where gas-powered supercars still hold a powerful advantage, one that electric cars haven't been able to replicate, no matter how advanced they become. When you drive a combustion engine supercar, you are not just controlling a vehicle. You are interacting with a living, breathing machine. Every vibration, every gear change, every spike in engine note tells you a story about what the car is doing beneath you. Take a naturally aspirated V12. As the revs climb, the sound doesn't just get louder. It changes character. It sharpens. It screams. It builds anticipation. You feel the engine working, struggling, and then unleashing its power. That feedback creates a connection between the driver and the machine that feels almost human. Electric supercars, by contrast, are brutally efficient. You press the accelerator, and the car delivers everything instantly. There's no build-up, no drama, no sense of progression. It's shockingly fast, but it's also strangely sterile. For many enthusiasts, that silence is unsettling. Speed without sound feels incomplete. It's like watching an explosion with the audio muted. You know something incredible is happening, but your senses aren't fully engaged. Manufacturers are aware of this gap. Some electric cars now pipe artificial engine sounds through speakers. Others experiment with futuristic audio feedback. But deep down drivers know the difference. Simulated emotion is not the same as mechanical chaos. This matters even more at the supercar level, where buyers aren't just purchasing transportation. They're buying identity, passion, childhood dreams. No one grew up with posters of silent machines on their walls. They grew up with Ferraris screaming through tunnels, Lamborghinis crackling on downshifts, and Porsches howling toward redline. Electric supercars may be faster, but speed alone doesn't create legends. Emotion does, and for now, combustion still owns that territory. Despite all of this, it would be a mistake to dismiss electric supercars as inferior. In many ways, they are already winning, just not in the way traditional enthusiasts expect. In everyday performance scenarios, electric vehicles are simply better. Instant torque makes city driving effortless. No waiting for revs. No downshifting, no hesitation. You press the pedal, and the car responds immediately. For daily use, that responsiveness feels incredible. Electric supercars deliver smooth, silent acceleration that makes even aggressive driving feel controlled and composed. There's no drama, just precision. Then there's maintenance. Gas supercars are mechanical nightmares. Oil changes, transmission servicing, complex cooling systems, exhaust components, all expensive, all fragile. Electric cars eliminate most of that complexity. Fewer moving parts means fewer things to break. And let's not ignore software. Electric cars evolve after you buy them. Updates can improve acceleration, handling, battery efficiency, and even braking overnight. No garage visits required. For most drivers, especially in urban environments, electric performance makes far more sense than combustion ever did. It's faster when it matters, easier to live with, and increasingly supported by infrastructure. Governments are also shaping this future. Emissions regulations are tightening worldwide. Cities are banning internal combustion engines. Fuel prices are unpredictable. The direction is clear. This is why even brands built on engine noise, like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche, are moving toward electrification. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Electric supercars represent progress. They are the logical next step in performance evolution. But progress doesn't always replace passion overnight. And that tension is exactly why this battle is still ongoing. The war between electric and gas-powered supercars isn't ending. It's transforming. The next generation of technology is already taking shape, and it may finally blur the line between performance and emotion. One of the biggest breakthroughs on the horizon is solid-state batteries. Unlike current lithium-ion packs, solid-state batteries promise higher energy density, lower weight, faster charging, and far better heat management. If they succeed, many of today's electric limitations disappear. Lighter batteries mean better handling. Faster charging means less downtime. Improved thermal stability means consistent performance, even on track. At the same time, hybrid systems are emerging as a powerful middle ground. Cars like the Ferrari SF90 and McLaren Artura combine electric motors with combustion engines, using electricity for instant torque and gas engines for sustained performance and sound. This approach doesn't force a choice between speed and soul. It blends them. Then there are companies like Koenigsegg and Rimac, which refuse to follow traditional rules altogether. They experiment with revolutionary transmissions, ultralight materials, and unconventional power delivery systems that challenge everything we think we know about cars. The future of performance may not belong exclusively to electric or gas, but to those willing to rethink what performance actually means. In the end, this isn't just a technological battle. It's a philosophical one. Do we value efficiency above all else? Or do we still care about how machines make us feel? The answer will define the next generation of automotive legends. So now it's your turn. Would you choose instant, silent speed, or roaring, imperfect emotion? Would you trade engine sound for torque, tradition for technology? Do electric supercars represent the future we should embrace, or are we losing something irreplaceable along the way? Let me know what you think in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your perspective. If this video helped you see the performance debate from a new angle, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you enjoyed deep dives into cars, engineering, and the stories behind speed, make sure to subscribe. Because the fastest machines aren't always the most interesting ones. Sometimes, the real story is what they can't replace. Thanks for watching.